This week in Santiago's Kitchen, we're making Bake Club citrus jam. And you can use any citrus you have in the yard. We love using recovered fruit so it doesn't go to waste. Go ahead and use a scale to weigh out a pound of fresh fruit. So we're using a combination of orange, lemon, and kumquats in this batch. What I'm doing first, just cut your citrus in half and then cut each end off, just taking off some of that rind. And if there's any funky spots, go ahead and cut those off. See, that one just had a weird spot, so I'm gonna cut that off. And it's nice to get a little of that rind out as well. So at first I cut it into eighths. Then I did the same thing with my lemons and the little kumquats as well. You're gonna wanna try to take out any of the seeds. If it's easy to be able to get those seeds out, just get them out as best as you can. From here, I measured 1.5 cups of granulated sugar and just set it aside to be used in the food processor. So 1.5 cups sugar, all set to go. And what I did was I took the pieces, they seem to be a little big for the food processor, the size cup we have, so I'm cutting them down even smaller, making sure to get out as many seeds as possible. And from here, we're just going to go over to our food processor, get all of our citrus fruit into the container, making sure to keep our fingers away from the blade at all times. We're just gonna pour that 1.5 cups of sugar into the food processor with the citrus fruit, and get yourself a spatula and really try to even out your sugar and your fruit. Never stick your hand in the food processor. So we are going to close this up and give it a few pulses just to kind of grind down our citrus fruit and the sugar for a bit. I like to stop it a little ways in, use my spatula, and get everything kind of evened out. Again, never stick your finger into the food processor. Here we're going to just pulse, pulse, pulse until we get the consistency that we want. So we want our citrus jam to be in teeny tiny chunks, nothing bigger than, say, a garbanzo bean. So you can see here, looking pretty good. I found another seed, get that out of there. This is perfect. So from here, what you want to do is take out the blade. Set this aside somewhere safe so you can see it and nobody hurts themselves. That blade is super sharp. It'll take your finger right off. So pour all of your citrus jam mix, just the sugar and the fruit, straight into a saucepan over medium heat. We're gonna give it a stir occasionally. You don't have to constantly stir it, just, every minute or so. And it'll take us about 10 minutes for this to boil down to the consistency that we want. It should reach about 220 degrees, and you're going to test it with your thermometer. Don't let the thermometer touch the bottom of the pan. Try to keep it in the middle of the sauce. Here you can see our citrus jam is boiling and it's nearly reaching 220 degrees. So once you get that jammy consistency, we're going to see it get darker in color, and it reduces in size. probably about by half. And here we go, a finished citrus jam. Like a 15-minute activity, and it is delicious. It makes a beautiful gift. You want to go ahead and pour it into your mason jars. We're going to clean the surface of the lids before we close those up. And we can give these to our neighbors, to our parents, to our friends. It'll be great to spread on some toast or have for breakfast. For these recipes and more, check us out at colemanskitchen.weebly.com.